Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. Tuesday morning, we're going to look at Psalm 31, and I'm going to read verses 1 through 5. It's a longer psalm, and so we'll just do a few verses. In you, O Lord, do I take refuge. Let me never be put to shame. In your righteousness, deliver me. Incline your ear to me. Rescue me speedily. Be a rock of refuge for me, a strong fortress to save me. For you are my rock and my fortress, and for your name's sake, you lead me and guide me. You take me out of the net they've hidden for me, for you are my refuge. Into your hand I commit my spirit. You have redeemed me, O Lord, faithful God. It's interesting to me how often in the Psalms and in the Old Testament in general, we see these words, you're my rock and my refuge. You know, what in the world could that mean? Well, I haven't looked up the Hebrew this morning, and you can be thankful for that. But a rock and a refuge, think of a castle, okay? I don't think of Cinderella's castle in Disney World or any of those, 19th century German castles, but think of a real castle. Now, there's one on the north coast of Ireland that we saw that it's tumble down ruins at this point, and it's probably 800 years old, but it's built of rock. And you know that when it was new and complete, it was a strong fortress. No one, what could they attack it with? Cannonballs, maybe, if they had cannonballs 800 years ago, and I'm not sure they did. A castle built out of rock, stones and bricks, is a almost impregnable fortress, which, has its disadvantages too, because you can't necessarily get out and, get food, crops and animals. So you could be easily besieged in a fortress. And that was, I suppose, one of the problems of fortresses. But at any rate, God is our rock and our refuge. Now, Hebrew poetry, of course, likes to say everything twice. So God is our rock and God is our refuge. So the words are different, but the meaning is just about the same. God is a place where we take refuge. God is where we hide from our enemies or seek safety from our enemies. And that is the theme that goes through this psalm, like so many other psalms, over and over through the 25 or 30 verses of it. And he says, I'm not put to shame. Again, there's that sense of, don't let me be put to shame. And then in verse 5, into your hand I commit my spirit. And of course, that's familiar to us because Jesus said that on the cross. And again, it fits that pattern that maybe he was praying through the Psalms, and that's just what they heard him say at a certain point before he died. That would be a fairly reasonable assumption to make. He's just reciting these psalms, keeping his mind focused on them so that he can endure this excruciating pain that crucifixion brings. Rock and a refuge. God is a place where we can take safety and we can hide from enemies. We can be protected and will be cared for by the Lord God. God is where we go to, not necessarily to hide, but just to be safe, At night in our houses, you lock the doors and turn on the alarm and the spotlights and all of that stuff so that you can go to sleep and not worry about bad people coming in. If they try to come in, they'll be chased away by, the family dog and the spotlights and the alarms and the Ring doorbells and everything else that we can think of. And so we make our houses into these fortresses of safety so that nothing bad can come and get us. if somebody's going to come and get us, they're going to come in one way or the other. Just let's admit that. Despite all of our devices, if somebody really wants to get in there, they can. Hate to be so negative, but that's the truth. So, but normally we think of those things as keeping us safe. God will keep us safe from those who want to attack us. Well, who is that? That would be, the devil, the power of sin, however you want to envision it. That would be somebody or something, this power that wants to see us defeated and wants to draw us away from God. It hates God. It wants to conquer us. And so what we want to do is take our refuge in God so that those evil powers cannot attack us or cannot be victorious over us. So there's your thought for this morning. God is going to be your refuge. God is going to take care of you despite whatever attacks or adventures come your way from the powers of evil. So then, have a great day, and we'll see you tomorrow. We'll do Psalm 32. See you then.